and Rogan was a warrior, and they helped save the lands of the north from the barbarian hordes on more than one occasion. And the story goes that they left the queue, as people here call it. Queue really means Cascaton. Quasqueton. I'll put it in chat. The Q stands for Cascaton, which is the name of their residence, their keep. I'm not even sure what it is. And so I'm asking whoever's willing, whether it be you or others, to take the map I have, find the Q, the Cascaton, whatever it is. I know it can be recognized by a tower, but I don't know what else is there. And I know that it's in the high rocks and hills of the northern Flinty Hills in the foothills of the Rakers. And I need you to explore and find an item for me. And this troubled look comes over his face as he kind of stops and pauses, takes a bite, a sip of wine. And I need you to find me an item. This item is called Zeliger's Bane. It is a rare gem. Are any of you familiar with various gems that would recognize the term sapphire?
I believe I would be.
Smiles and nods at the dwarf. Of course. It is a great sapphire, a rare. It is so great that it would be considered rare. And it is a particularly easily recognized because it possesses within it what I've been told by my mother is called the Star of Ages. And the Star of Ages is within this sapphire. It almost looks like a meteor with a tail. And I need you to secure Zeliger's Bane and the waxed sealed bone scroll tube that will be with it somewhere in Cascaton. And he pushes a beautiful velvet cloth across the table to the closest, whoever's closest to him, and also a velvet sack. And I need you to wrap the item in this cloth and secure it in the sack with the scroll and tube. The scroll tube must come to me unsealed. You've seen my seal. It should be emblazoned in wax or on the tube. The seal of Thanan.
It needs to come to you still sealed, not
sealed.
It needs to be sealed.
You're not to open the scroll tube. You are to secure the Zeliger's Bane sapphire in the cloth, in the sack, with the tube, and then come back and bring them to me.
So what does this magnificent item do?
That, Pavel, is an excellent question.
So you don't even know?
I do not. I know that my father wished for me to have it, and that he told my mother she would know when to tell me that the time was right, and that it is important to my father that I have this item. And so then it is important to me. And all I know is that it is a large blue sapphire with the Star of Ages within it as you look at it. And the scroll tube that should, come to me sealed.
Can I insight check him?
Yes, please.
Okay. 14.
14. He strikes you, and if you all wish to roll an insight at some point, just let me know. He strikes you as believing what he's saying, convicted. I don't mean like a felon. Confident, well-spoken, if not a bit rehearsed. What other roles am I getting?
I choose to take him at his word. I've met his employees. I've seen how he treated his staff. I will.
Okay.
I only rolled a 10.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, no, I'll take him at take him at face value.
With your 14, Lyle, you may sense that maybe you're not getting 100% of whatever might be there, but you feel like he believes what he's telling you. You don't see any outward signs of duplicity, deception. His body language doesn't seem to make you uncomfortable.
And who
Okay.
else donated?
Thanks, Arctic Nerd.
We now have 5.
Nice.
5
Thank
divine.
you, nerd. Heart thingy. Woo. Nice. So I need you to collect these items. My concerns are for your safety, because I do not know much about this place, where it is, what you will encounter once you find it, assuming that you find it. I do not know what will happen. I do not know much about the items other than they were my father's, and he wished for me to have them. But I do know that any survivors, anyone who returns and brings me these 2 items back to the manor, I will provide them with 1,000 gold crowns, the coin of the Great Northern Kingdom. And he nods to the 2 people who have been taking care of drinks and food and so forth, and they leave. To anyone who is lost on this errand, I will, of course, cover any necessary expenses to make arrangements. You kind of make sure that he visually sees that you understand what he means by that. Also, you are free to decline my offer. You are free to not return. You are not free to make off with the items I need. So know that if you do not return, if you decide to take my map, accept my request, accept what I provide to you for provisions and equipment, and you do not return, I will find you and see that you do not have those items in your possession. And he kind of lets that resonate. And after maybe a minute of awkward silence, as he kind of looks you over, kind of commands the room, the 2 youth return, and they're each carrying a kind of a platter, stoneware platter, and there are on one platter there are 2 mounds of stacks of gold crowns. And on the other platter, there are 3 stacks of gold crowns. And if you had to guess at each stack, there's probably 1,000 gold crowns. They're not huge, right? Just so you know, I am more than able to pay you. I wish for you to see what your payment will be should you come back successful from my errand. If you return without the items and are able to explain to me why you do not have them, I will be willing to still compensate you something for your trouble. And he kind of sits back. What questions have you?
This map, you say your father has left you.
I have the map. He, from within his couture somewhere, he pulls out a fairly beat-up-looking scroll tube. And within the scroll tube, he pops a cap off the end of it. And I'm actually getting the map for you if you're wondering what in the heck he's doing. Any minute now, I'll have it.
And I'm starting to drop frames for some reason.
There you are. I think if you click on the link in the Discord, you should be able to hopefully see that it's in a format you can use.
Yep. Got it.
Discord?
In Discord, yes.
Okay.
And so what you have, and I'll hold it in front of the camera, but you'll also be able to post it, I'm sure. Let me get my zoom up so I can see what I'm holding up here in my highly technical operation. What you have is a hand-drawn map of the region. And right here is the Q. It's just kind of scrawled on there, Q, circled. You can see where you are now. Edgefield, the manor, you'll have to travel to get to, I don't know how well y'all can see that, to get to the...
We're just getting bits and bits.
Oh my God, Arctic Nerd. What the hell, dude?
Arctic Nerd, dude. Thank you.
Oh my God.
So many bits. Woo!
That's
We're going to have to... Is anybody scribing who's contributing these? If somebody could jot that down. I know Sean and Coach chipped in for 1. Arctic Nerd's got 2.
Arctic Nerd has 3 now.
Arctic Nerd has 3. And then Zombie Knight has
3.
2 or 3. Yeah, because when we start to use them, we'd like to give thanks to our... So we're up to what?
It's
7?
8. Arctic Nerd with 3, Zombie Knight with 3, the Castle Max with 1 and 3/4, and then the Greyhawk channel with...
Greyhawk channel.
Yeah.
So if someone could scribe that,
guys.
And keep... Devin, did you just volunteer to keep track of those?
No.
Oh boy, I hope they roll over.
Oh yeah, we're rolling them over. Yeah, those are everlasting.
God.
So he pushes the map in front of you and just lets you soak on what he's shared with you. And so what questions do you have for me? Surely you must have questions.
What do you intend to do with these items? Do you know?
Not entirely. Thank you, Flint. Good question. Not entirely. My mother says I will know more when I have the item, when I have Zeligar's Bane and the scroll.
Okay.
What else would you like to know?
This Adri Forest where we are sitting next to, what, if anything, do you know of it? Local fauna, flora, anything notable that we should perhaps avoid or be aware of?
Yeah, let's talk a bit about the area. As you see, you're in the kind of the northeast corner of the forest here at Highmeadow. My thought is the best way to go would be to take a bit of a direct route. Shortest distance is a straight line from the manor, which is marked on the map with an X, through that peninsula of the forest, over the Tisar Torrent River, and into the Flinty Hills. In the forest, you could encounter all manner of wildlife. You should be able to hunt for your meat if you wish. I can also help provision you. You will encounter possibly sylvan elves, huntsmen, woodsmen. There have been rumors and concerns about small groups of goblins and orcs about in the woods. Several of the woodsmen work to keep the trail through the woods, the various roads, safe, but they can't guarantee anything. Once you leave the woods, you will likely see less dangerous concerns. It's grassland. Once you leave the woods, cross the river, several miles of grassland until you start to see the beginnings, the rolls of the rocky, flinty hills. And the further north and west you go, the steeper, the rougher, the more desolate the flinty hills become. And as they become the foothills to the rakers, there's not a lot known about that area. You're actually traveling west, northwest to the edges of the Great Northern Kingdom. You will be passing just south of a region called the Bone March. Not the most hospitable of places. It is thought that many of the orcs and goblins and nasties that we see in the area are spawned and coming down from the Bone March. You will encounter, more likely to encounter orcs, goblins, ogres in the hills, but you'll also find possibly settlements of halflings, gnomes, or dwarves, or roving groups, travelers, traders, miners in the flinty hills. So I hope that helps with that. What other questions have you?
That's all I had needed to know.
What of the rest of you?
Sorry, I'm trying to get the map up on the screen for the viewers.
What if the reward we want isn't of monetary value?
Kind of regard you seriously. Tell me more, good Flint.
I asked Ellwegue this, and he said you might have information on the location of some necromancers. Or at least connections to find them.
The dark arts, the dark magics of the undead, perhaps. There are starting to be tales, some unconfirmed, one or two reasonable sources confirming the possibility of some, and I don't even know what you would call it, a group of undead, dead, zombie, I don't know what to call it, that may have taken up in an abandoned mine in the Blemu Hills, north of the county of Knurl in southern Bone March, along the Tisar Torrent. And if you guys are looking at that map, if you're able to pull it up, I hope, you will be able to see the various areas and regions he's referencing. There is rumor to be some sort of wicked conclave, coven of some sort of evil necromantic creatures that may have taken over an abandoned mine in that region. I don't hear that they are so much out doing things, but that they've settled in there. They're there, and something keeps them there. But no one is for sure what, how many, to what end they're there. What interest do you have with these evil things?
Stopping them.
I see. He seems curious about your interest and puzzled. I know they've caused concern and curiosity coming this far south and apparently gathering, settling. We just don't know what's happening. What else can I answer for you?
I think looking for a blue sapphire in the queue or the Quascatron.
Cascaton. That's how the DM has decided we're going to pronounce it.
Cascaton.
Cascaton. The Q.
Wrap the gem and the bone tube scroll in the cloth. Bring it back to you. Make sure the scroll is not opened. Or the tube is not opened.
I am instructed that I'm to be the only one to open the scroll.
My lord.
What else can I help you with? Yes, Harlow.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you. My lord, do you have any business interests or connections with some of the larger families or banks in Relastra? Have you ever dealt with any of them?
I have not. My work is regional, I guess. I obviously have a large holding here southwest of Edgefield, and I have connections in Edgefield. I am good friends with the regional provincial governor, Gerald Xenogold. He is the cousin of our ruler, Overking Grenell the First, Grand Prince of the Northern Kingdom. My business is within the Northern Kingdom, and then I trade and do business with communities in Nyrond to the west and Neural in the Bone March, but not as far south as Relastra.
Thank you for your honesty, sir.
What else can I do to encourage you to embark upon my errand?
I'm just excited to get out there.
Family heirlooms should be kept within the family. I am accepting the quest.
Thank you, good dwarf. What other questions have you? And by all means, continue to eat your fill. Any of the servants kind of keep things tidy and keep the...
Oh, there was no doubt that I was just continuing to eat.
like a conveyor belt.
Yeah, a little bit.
I was just picking at this point.
I feel like Pavel is definitely one of those guys who's got like a bottomless stomach. Like he's not a big dude, but he just eats a lot.
Flint is kind of jittering at this point because she just keeps drinking coffee and more coffee without realizing what coffee does.
Just kind of vibrating in place.
Yeah, just kind of like, wow, this is really interesting, you guys. Let's go do something. Let's go climb a mountain. Like, come on.
Maybe you should slow down on that, Flint.
Why is that?
Did you notice you're sort of bouncing in your seat?
No, I thought the room was moving. No one else feels that?
No, Flint, with coffee, it's good in small amounts. You drink too much, your heart may explode. I think you're closer to the exploding than the not.
I did not realize this was a magic elixir.
It's not. It's just has an effect on your body.
You may not sleep tonight.
No.
Yeah.
Who needs sleep? Let's go.
While this is, going on, Lord Thanan just sits back and regards everyone, takes it all in. Again, watching, kind of summing you up, if you will.
My lord.
Yes, Harlow.
She looks down at her armor. It's just basic armor pieced together. It's looks like the reject pile of an old gym. My lord, do you have an armory? Perhaps I could avail myself of a new suit. Mine has seen better days, and of course you can take it out of my prize should I succeed.
By all means, my plan is to equip the members of the party who wish to take on this errand with the appropriate equipment, armor, weapons, provisions, tools you think may be necessary based on your travels through the forest, the grasslands, the hills, foothills. And again, as you get up towards where we believe the queue to be, it is hard scrabble, cliffs, ravines, stone, not hospitable above ground from a farmer's perspective, and certainly not from a red vines are in the house. At this point, we should stop and note that Castlemac Legal will proudly proclaim that we are not officially sponsored by Red Vines, but that we do wish to enjoy their goodness and all the joy that accompanies the much celebrated Red Vines. But we are in no way legally sponsored by said Red Vines LLC. Title license on optional, blah, blah, blah. Fastly spoken disclaimer.
I'm going to lean forward and I go, in terms of also non-monetary payment, do you have any books on magic?
Books on magic.
Yeah, books about magic.
Pray, what interests you, Paul? What interests you about magic?
It's, let's say it's a hobby of mine.
Interesting. He regards you very differently after this question. You're like curious, surprised that came out of such an oaf. Yes. Interesting. As you mentioned, Harlow, arming yourselves, equipping yourselves, I will ask my staff to show you to the armory where Riles will see that you have the necessary equipment. I've taken the liberty of planning for your arrival, and I think you'll find everything you need and more than you may expect when you go down to the armory.
Well, I don't know about it, all of you guys, but I'm ready to go. I've got like 6 or 7 like dirty, like unclean plates just sort of piled all in front of me.
What time of day is it?
Rubbing my stomach.
You're mid-afternoon at this point. You've had lunch, you've been talking, eating, drinking. So it's definitely gotten mid to late afternoon. A couple, 2-3 hours have passed.
It may be best for us to wait till the morning. If we set off now, we probably won't get that far until we have to set camp. It may be better for us to set up in the morning, if the Lord is graceful enough to give us.
Of course. I have prepared. I didn't assume you would just run out the front door in a cloud of dust. And so I have guest quarters made ready here in the manor house, actually. A room for each of you. Should you need it. You can wash up, bathe, relax, use the great room. Your rooms are on the next level. It's a 2-story timber frame house. And in fact, as you were going through the great room, you noticed a hallway kind of up to a loft with several doors that presumably are the guest rooms. Just above us, you'll find your quarters. The servants can show you to your rooms when the time comes. You'll want to visit the armory and speak with Riles. you're free to explore the grounds. I just ask while you're in my home that you keep your visit to the great room, this room, and your guest rooms, the front porch. Otherwise, you can certainly explore the stables, the various paddocks, the grounds. Feel free to have my stableman saddle you a horse and ride around. You'll find yourself in no danger from anything as long as you're on our property.
Speaking of horses, will we be provided mounts for this journey north?
Yes. Obviously, the further north you go into the Flinty Hills, it'll be tougher going with horses, but it's certainly can be done. And you can just, leave the animals tethered outside of that tower entrance. I presume you'll recognize the Cascatin when you see it as something, because it'll probably be quite different than what the countryside presents to you. And so you could leave the animals there and then ride them back. Yes. To give you an idea on the map too, if you look, we've indicated distance by the little hexes. Each one of those is about 5 miles. You can make about 5 of those in a day's time. So you have a bit of a trip ahead of you.
Yeah.
You have no need to ride hard. But obviously, the sooner you get there and the sooner you get back, the sooner you will enjoy your newfound wealth and my undying gratitude.
Well, that sounds amenable to me. I'm going to get up and I'm going to look at him. I'm going to go, where's your armory? So I can take a look at that before turning in.
He calls, Seth, Sabrina, please come. And they come out. Yes, my lord. Would you please show Pavel and anyone else who wishes to accompany him down to Master Riley in the armory? Of course. They're very pleasant. They're not, you can tell they're not slaves. They almost seem like paid help versus indentured servants. They don't seem beholden. They have a very collegial working relationship versus like your standard slave servant master relationship.
Yeah. Okay.
I will follow them down to the armory.
Okay, so they lead you down. There's a set of stairs off of one side of this dining hall you're in. Heavy door open. Stairs down into the and that's been excavated, hard dirt down, torches. And you get down into the armory, and it's part storage. There's a smithy, forge furnace area in one end that's vented, outward by some, rough tubing piping, means. There is at the above grade, because you're probably, 8 feet or so, 10 feet down, but at grade, there have been sort of openings or windows cut into the wood of the house so that you have some natural light. And you see an older gentleman at work bustling about in the armory. And as he hears you coming down and so forth, he turns around. Welcome to the armory. I am Riley. Lord Thanan said you'd be visiting. And I think I might be totally stealing Stephen's Tuesday night Broderick voice, but I'm not sure. But I might be.
Before Harlow turned and followed the group, she kind of waited for a second to speak to Lord Thanan.
Yes.
My lord, may I have a moment of your time?
Absolutely, Harlow. What can I do for you?
I know you said that your business interests don't bring you to Relastra, but I must ask one thing of you, and I would give up my reward for all of this if you would grant me this. But if you ever if you ever have anything to do with the nobles or the houses of Relestra or the trading companies, never, ever deal with the Lavals. If you ever could hinder their business, frankly, please do not ever add to their wealth or their power.
He picks up a quill. Little, you can see his end of the table. He has he has a few little like some parchment paper, quill, the ability to make notes. Laval, you say?
Yes, sir.
Writes it down. Might I inquire why?
To be honest, sir, they're my family. That's my house, and they're the worst kind of people. And if you're paying attention, you'll notice that Harlow's really rowing at the skin on her.
I think she froze.
Yeah.
Well, I do appreciate.
It's like them. Oh.
There you are. You're back. I do appreciate the tip, Miss Harlow, and I'm sorry that whatever circumstance led you to have to tell me this. I'm sorry that has befallen you.
It is life, my lord, but I thank you for respecting my wishes on this matter. That if any way in your power to not aid them, they don't deserve it. And with that, she'll bow and follow the rest to the armory.
I've made a note. Thank you. And so you get down there to the armory. Well met, my travelers. So do you wish to accept my lord's invitation? And this guy's probably late 60s, but incredibly wiry, fit, long but trimmed beard, balding, chainmail, leather pants, what you might expect from an armorer or a smith, but not the black grimy version.
Yes, I believe we all intend to take your lord up on his offer.
Very well then. You are free to take whatever you need from the armory so far as equipment, weaponry, provision. We can get you some, of course, all the tack and harness in the stable. We can get you foodstuffs for the road. They'll have a pack mule for you in the stable. He kind of strokes his beard and he looks you over. Come with me. And he leads you kind of behind. Again, it's almost like a service area. You can tell that Riley, he's like the tool crib in a factory. All the stuff the place needs, armament-wise, is here, and he's the purveyor of such. Come with me, kind of behind the counter here, and he takes you over to a table where there are some items laid out. There are some special things that Lord Thanan asked me to share with you that should aid in your safekeeping and success. And you'll see on the table 2 longbows. One bigger